Hello and welcome to Torment, Tides of Numenera. So we have to head back to Churgan's Slump. We need to open that big portal now. And we also have to find a way for Skoya, that blind woman with a distorted face, to gain back her vision. And none of the surgeons, they're called Churgans, score aside, know how to do it.
You want a job done right.
We may have to watch out for that. And this plus half is blocked.
Yes.
And yeah, looks like we did everything. Also, I have one quest to bring Tibir to Dracogen. And not really sure if I will actually do that. Because I completely ignored Tibir since the start of the game. I just ran with other companions. And I do kind of like doing this. Just put a focus on some companions. Perhaps sometimes I don't know, just mix them up. But Tibir, well, he didn't get much chance to shine in my team. So it just feels odd to bring him here. Possibly I have to bring him here. Whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Like a whisper.
We need to check this place out. Hey. Hey, Damaray. What the hell? Why, good sir. Greetings, greetings, and welcome to our little operation. His long face suffuses with a smile at his joke. His sagging skin and dark bags under his eyes speak of a deep physical weariness. But his manner is bright and cheery. He wipes his nose on a filthy sleeve and he extends his hand. My name is Dr. Damaray. His partner steps forward as well. And I'm Dr. Oberwitch. He extends his hand. It's probably best to grasp the top one. Like his partner, his face is long and seamed. Unlike his partner, each of his arms is bifurcated at the elbow. What? With a mechanical forearm and a hand grafted to them, a multitude of prosthetic eyes are drilled into the top of his head. But where are our manners? How can we help you? Do you know any way to restore the sight of someone without eyes? Without eyes? Were they destroyed, or is this inherited? Was this a creature that has no visual cortex? He waves his hands. It makes no matter. I can restore sight to any living creature. He leans forward and taps your chest. Any! Big words. We restore the blessing of sight, and with just a few minor side effects. Overwitch is nodding and smiling and prepares to offer a boast himself, but as he holds his strange arm, his index finger in the air, he pauses and says quietly, Do you mean restoring sight and retaining independent nervous autonomy? That is, without scoping out portions of the brain? The subject should retain her faculties, yes.
I'll remember that.
Oh dear. Faces a very small circle. I know only one procedure that meets the specific qualification that she retain all her faculties. I'm afraid it is long work, long hard work, long hard expensive work. He glances at Oberwitch. One of Oberwitch's eyes should do it, but this cast off, we cannot pass up this opportunity. Okay. Do you think I will bring good business? The half-man returns his partner's quick look. It would require a compensation worth more than coin. Perhaps if you found us an interesting test subject for investigation, we could consider a fair trade. And when I say perhaps could, I actually mean it would suffice. I see where Dr. Damaray is headed with this. He would make an excellent test subject. Expensive and time-consuming? What about all the eyes your colleague has on his head? Did he undergo all these surgeries one by one? My friend, these eyes provide a valuable function for me. And they are not simply baubles to be handed out as favors. They are affixed to me and provide certain insights. He bobs his head quickly and nervously, and as if to belly his words, one of them falls from his head. Blast! He adds hastily, scooping it up and reattaching it. Very well, very well. You caught us in the slight embellishment, as one might expect from someone of your mental caliber. He looks to his compatriot. Did I not tell you that our friend's intellect was something to be admired? I did, he boasts to you. We don't necessarily need a subject, I suppose, but I did not embroider the truth entire. This is an expensive item. To replace, it will cost us 280 shins. What qualifications do you need for an interesting test subject? I can pay that shins. I would pay the shins instead. He shakes his head slightly. Such a possible contribution to knowledge and learning lost. That doesn't stop him from taking our money. Yeah. I hope my esteemed colleague will cheer himself by thinking of how we can advance our research through the expenditure of these funds. He elbows Overwitch. I believe our guest is waiting for something.
Making a note.
What? Oh yes, my apologies. He reaches out up to the profusion of eyes in his head and selects one, seemingly at random. With a grimace, he works it free from his head. His scarred flesh flows around and fills the hole where it resided. Simply place this eye on the recipient's face and it will do the rest of the work. Easy! What if I put it on my own face? It will likely not work. And it would scoop out a portion of your brain in an attempt? No. Sadly no, I cannot recommend that you try. My thanks. Some other questions? But of course. What can you tell me about yourselves? His chest puffs. We are Churgans, no, doctors and explorers who seek to expand the universe of medical knowledge. We have found the answers to many questions, dissecting and vivisecting any number of strange beasts, and we come ever closer to unlocking the deeper secrets of human existence. I hasten to add that we are not licensed in a number of jurisdictions, and in fact I understand that several localities have warrants for our arrest. He gestures to himself. We do nothing to others that we are not willing to perform on ourselves. In fact, we only seek our specialized persons who we are particular about our patients. So far we escaped arrest, not like that poor Gibra bastard, Matak. What became of him, I wonder? What sort of work do you do here? We take on any number of specialized patients. Take patient 27, for example, or Jaunt, as he calls himself. He was a visitant from another world. An alien creature or local maw devoured him and then spat him out a year later without his skin, muscle, or memory. Yet if you look at him, you can see that he has both skin and muscle. Granted, it's human skin and muscle, but that's all we had to work with. We couldn't do anything about his memory. The skin and muscle doesn't suit patient 27. Body structure, of course, but that only makes it more amazing. Why couldn't you restore his memory? The bloom devours more than flesh and bone. It's hyper rare, hyper sentient, and its needs are still beyond our knowledge. We do know that it sometimes feeds on certain mental states, and that certain psychic wavelengths attract its attention. I theorize that it nourishes itself on those wavelengths. This is most likely what happened to Jaunt. His essence, if you will, has been absorbed and probably excreted by now. There is no recovery from that. Well. So that's it? You guys...
Fine.
That is what you guys were good for? So I actually have an eye that might work for that woman. Of course I could have just tried to take her stuff. After that, we might just need to get ourselves eaten by a maw. Or maybe get the kid we bought eaten by the maw. He's definitely eager to do it. Maybe it's gonna work out. Nah, I'm gonna do it myself. Sure, I wouldn't want to lose stuff from me.
I'm there, in the shadows.
Alright. Skura. Skura, you're so faceless, but I got you an eye. Her hand tilts at your footfalls and her lips smack as she scents the air. Why do you return? What have you brought to poor Skura? I have an eye for you. Press Olbrich's eye into her face. You can be like a cyclops with one eye. Sweet sight returns. I welcome it, friend. Ah! The eye begins to burn into her flesh, extruding small lengths that heat and twist as they burrow deeper into the meat and the bone of her head. She claps her hands over the eye, instinctively scrubbing at the invasive device, and you recognize the titanic act of will it takes for her to let the eye do its work. Her trust in you must be great, or her need for vision desperate. So much pain, yet nothing compared to how I lost them. Did he speak true? Or I'm just killing you. After what seems like an eternity of screams and moans, Skura pulls her hands from her disfigured face. She tilts her head up at you, and her mouth stretches into an involuntary smile of pure joy. You wave your hand in front of her face, and the eye tracks it naturally, cleanly. She throws her arms around you, sobbing with relief and happiness. I see the lights, the shadows, the bloom. Never has this sweet shell looked so wonderful. We got a crappy jar. What does this do? Does nothing. Quest item. Made of opaque battered metal, this jar looks like a repurposed cylinder. Just above its surface, a control panel is projected into the air, displaying enigmatic diagrams and text that indicate the status of its contents. The jar trumps with energy, seeming most alive. According to Skura, the nano who gave you this jar, it contains a small part of the Iron Wind, dangerous nanospirits that warp and transform any matter they touch. Alright. And last she collects herself, wiping away the streams of tears that pours from the single eye. She looks in amazement at the moisture on her hands and mutters. It has rebuilt the entire structure. Amazing. More investigation required. Then she glances up at you and thrusts the jar into your hands. Here, more trouble than it's worth. She turns away, gasping in delight at every newly revealed sight.
I'm ready to learn something new.
That's it. The world is beautiful, friend, even this day, forsaken place. Okay, you can have this place to yourself because I cleared out all the murders. By the way, artist, do we have a new conversation options? What's in your mind? I spoke with the nano spirits inside you. Do you feel any different? My ideas don't feel as shouty as they used to, he says, thinking hard. But other than that, no. Are you sure you don't feel any difference since I spoke with the nano spirits inside you? I think I'm still fine. And that me hasn't changed. That's it? Well, nothing for now.
Doing it now.
I suppose they are willing, those spirits are willing to let him have his own. Well, I was just about to say his own thoughts and actions if he's willing to act in an entertaining,
let's go,
action-packed way, but I suppose that's not his own thoughts and actions, but still, I mean, like, they were simply bored with him. Those are some kind of I wouldn't say it's battle stimulant. They are just like small machines that are obviously like were designed to keep the soldiers
You've got it.
Like active, like not sleeping, just like no fear of death, just keep fighting. And obviously someone figured out that they are more trouble than they are worth. The maw remains tightly shut. As you approach, the voices of the bloom begin to chitter and hiss in your ears. Well, we can try to cut them all. Do we really want to get eaten or just cut them all? Drink Artag Leo's essence. I believe after all this trouble, we're just gonna do it. You uncork the bottle of thin yellow gruel. The smell that rises in vile beyond description, like rotting meat mixed with acid, rank with fear. But underneath that fear is a bolder, earthier smell, and you focus on that rather than the sharp scent. It makes the draught go down easier, though you still gag as it clings to your throat. The aftertaste is surprisingly not horrible. In fact, it's almost palatable. Actually, the aftertaste is becoming quite pleasant. Bold, spicy, large, your limbs tremble for a moment as a bout of fear shakes through you. Adrenaline shorting your limbic system into purely instinctive fight or flight, but that rush disappears, leaving behind a pleasant glow. Your head clouds, your vision tightens, a pressure building behind your eyes. Not a painful pressure, but a feeling like you're about to cry or laugh harder than you've ever laughed before. No, it's laughter. You can feel laughter welling within you. You snort as you consider what this means for Artaglio's legacy, deemed by most a coward, dressing himself in the face of a brave man, but underneath is a man whose greatest pleasure is in his friends and in doing great deeds for them. You suddenly understand that his fear is not for himself, but the idea that he can protect his cohort. Artaglio's memories burn themselves into your consciousness, and you're not quite sure where his end and yours began. You feel his mind and feelings jostling for space in your mind. The bloom tongues, which had been ignoring you until now, suddenly orient themselves in your direction. Offer myself to the bloom! Don't! Hisses Matkina as she realizes your intent, but it's too late. Even before you step into the tongue's embrace, they are reaching toward like the arms of a lover, eager to receive you. In the next moment, they are all around you, stroking your arms and your head, passing through your flesh and igniting a prickly hot-cold sensation across your skull. Memories begin to rise into your consciousness, but they are not your memories. They belong to Artaglio. You see yourself leaping from the top of a gleaming metal cliff into a clear blue sea, while a sound like wailing voices echoes in your ears. You charge down a tunnel, screaming like a madman and brandishing a broken sword, slashing at slimy heads that emerge from all around you. And in spite of the danger, you are happy because you got 30 shouting friends at your back, and you never felt so alive. You cling to the back of a winged creature behind its laughing female rider, and as she looks back at you, you're not sure if she's about to cut the cord that keeps you from falling off. Remain among the tongues. A wild grin spreads across your face. The part of you that is Artaglio is enjoying these memories. Like everything else you've faced in your life, the tongues are nothing to fear. Why had you been so afraid? You're standing at attention in a dismal place, bonded in a dead grey muck by countless detonations and trooping feet. It stretches as far as your eyes can see. Your comrades are covered in the same grey muck. The life has gone out of them, and you know that you brought them to this for nothing more than a promise of shins. The bloom tongues tighten their grip on your soul, becoming more solid, cracking your bones and tearing through your flesh of your scalp. More tendrils burst from the floor and grab hold of your legs. The part of you that is, Artaglio begins to scream, and the sound comes out of your mouth. All around you, the voices of the bloom grow louder, closer, burning in your ears, drowning out your thoughts. And you fall into darkness.
I'm faltering.
Am I dead? I'm dead. Of course I am. Dumbest idea ever. Get eaten by a maw? Hi guys, you guys enjoying the ride? Jeez. I got a whole bus full of tourists in my mind. Plus any fear. I just go back. Did it at least work? S was crazy. As you wake, you realize that the part of you that was Artaglio is gone, torn from your mind and devoured by the bloom. Apparently the bloom also managed to kill you in the process, but the maw has fed, and now it is open. Well, screw you, maw. I was not looking forward to dying. Again. I suppose there are many easier choices. You could have just sent in Artaglio, or possibly just try to cut open the maw. Maybe that wouldn't have worked. A scene of horror lies before you. The walls and floors turned against the inhabitants of this chamber, opening toothy orifices to drag them down and devour them. Judging by the half-devoured wagons and other debris, this was a market of some kind, or trade post. To your left, across the room, is a massive, slumbering maw. Its mouth gapes open, and a portal shines within. Maw, what the hell, Bloom? Mouth full of thorny fangs gapes in the floor. It's dormant now, but teeth are wet with blood. This toothy orifice is frozen in the act of devouring a table. You notice a small notch in the wood on one side telling sales or days spent in this nightmarish place.
Consider it done.
The fleshy ground is torn here, revealing a mass of glistening, boneless creatures. It's not clear if they are parasites or some
You won't notice I'm gone.
what? I need to know. Some full progeny of the bloom.
Here comes the boredom slayer.
This round orifice is rimmed with rows of razor-sharp fangs. Human flesh and hair cling to some of the teeth.
Sure.
What is this? Behind the massive glands that block the doorway, you see nothing but solid flesh. This chamber has been cut from the
What's in this for you?
rest of the
Adventure
bloom.
and fun and friends. We're friends, right?
Against my better judgment, I think we might be.
Oh, I like that. Don't be like that.
Here comes the boredom
Alligator.
slayer.
What the hell is that? Ascension. Okay.
All right.
Alright. Bloom, you make me feel
I'm there. In the
tongue
shadow.
cluster. Hey, can we talk? We can? A wriggling mass of tendrils rises from the ground. They remind you of the tongues that surround the maw, writhing and twisting around each other. They make wet, unpleasant sounds. Out of the corner of your eye, you catch a subtle change in Matkina's movements. Tension that tells you she has encountered something like this before. Her bearing suggests cautions, but not fear. Matkina, do you know what this is? She turns to you with the beginning of a smirk, obviously aware that you caught the change in her bearing when she first saw the tongues, and maybe a little impressed that you noticed. After a careful thought, I guess that it's a bunch of bloom tongues? She reaches out a hand, holding it near one of the tongues. I've heard rumors, stories from people who've been here a long time, the crazies and adult heads. Tongues only grow like this in the deepest parts of the bloom. You must have dragged this whole chamber into the depths. Listen carefully to the bloom's voices. The hissing and chirrings are completely unintelligible to you, if indeed they mean anything at all. Touch the bloom tongues with your hand. You carefully reach into the cluster of squirming tendrils. When they touch your arm or hand, they pass through it, and a prickly, hot-cold sensation runs up your arm. You notice that the bloom's voices are much louder when you are touching the tongues, though you can't understand them any better. Leave the tongues alone.
Let's go.
Alright, let's just see what's here.
I am the
Something
very
in the
soul
table,
of action.
and that's it. So this whole trade post got turned into a nightmare scenario. And we can only go this way. Well, we can go back too. Might as well go to Ascension. You emerge from the portal into an alien world. The air is thin and bitterly cold. The sun is a tiny white globe in the sky, casting dim light over a landscape of crystalline beauty. You see no sign of organic life, only glittering crystals in every direction. Quite a view. Nicer than the bloom, at least. I have to agree.
Like a whisper.
I'm quite sick of the bloom. I mean, like, if I was there, my first order of business would be going away. How do I get?
Yes.
How do we get down?
Like a whisper.
Can I just go there?
All right.
Looks like I can't interact with anything.
Action.
Oh,
Here I come.
never mind that. Alright.
Why not?
Oh, Doran? Finally, a new face. Where did you come from, stranger? You wouldn't believe it? The tall, weathered man nods to you. He holds himself stiffly, as if something will crack off if he moves too quickly. He glances at your tattoo and smiles. Hello, Castoff. I'm Doran, prophet of the changing god. It's been a while since we've seen anyone come through here. What's your business in Ascension? I'm looking for the Circle of Dark, Hylian material known as the magmatic amulet. Have you seen anything like that? He raises his eyebrows. No, that is interesting business. Sadly, I cannot help you. We've seen nothing but pretty lights, to be honest. I think that's all there is to this place. Why does it mean that you're a prophet of the changing god? A title only, he says, bowing his head in a momentary respect. The cultists of the changing god believe I have a special connection because I found some well-hidden secrets of your fathers once. Shrugs. Between you and me, I just got lucky. What secret of the changing gods did you find? He waves it off modestly. Nothing that would interest you, and an old workshop of his with some trinkets. I didn't understand any of it, but the cultists were ecstatic. They drafted me as a prophet and confiscated everything. Well, he winks. Everything I didn't sell first. Fair compensation for my efforts, you know. Are you related to the cult of the changing god in Segus Cliffs? We are cultists of the changing god, yes. Though I'm afraid we have a little to do with our colleagues in Segus Cliffs. There is Not a lot of oversight between our churches. What are you doing in Ascension? Seeking, he says in a studied casual tone. You have it on good, though possibly outdated authority that this place holds more of your father's secrets. We have found nothing yet, however, until we do, we are enjoying the sights and the silence, the crystals and the lights. He shrugs. Our pursuits have taken us to less pleasant places. What can you tell me about this place? Very little, he says, blinking. There are crystals, there are lights, there is no one to talk to and little of value to find. It's a lovely world, but I fear we may be wasting our time here. Are you sure you can't tell me anything about Ascension? There's little to tell. It's a beautiful place, but devoid of life. Ah, farewell. Maybe
Ready.
Asclarian knows more. I don't think I can go that way. It's at least something. Also, maybe that way. This shelter is built from a variety of exotic materials, sin steel, pliable metals, and adamantine silk. It looks like it's been here a long time and probably has served many different groups of explorers. What about Asclarian? This tall lit man has an unkept shock of bright red hair. His skin is ashen, as if colored by the dust of old tomes. It's been a long time since he's seen a real sun. His smile is thin and twitching, and the demented light burns in his eyes. Another cast-off, he says with a sneer. Another echo. Who are you? Asclarian, he says the name proudly, as if you should have heard of him. I act. He falls silent, his eyes glittering with contempt. What do you mean, act? The prophet of Doran hears, he says, nodding at the man standing nearby. And depending on what he hears, I act. Okay. He eyes you, fingers curling at his side. So you do what Doran says. No, he says sharply. I act on his words. That sounds an awful lot like taking orders to me. It would to you, he snarls. One of his eyes is twitching now. You don't know what we are. We don't not tumble about the world like you do, inflicting little damages or claiming to be more than we are. We listen, then we decide. He takes a long, shuddering breath, calming himself. Then we act, but no one tells us to do so. Well, okay. It is just a strong suggestion. Can you tell me anything about Ascension? I can, but I won't. The Prophet Doran will decide what you're allowed to know, Echo. I'm looking for a circle of dark, highly material. It's called Magmatic Amulet. Have you seen it? He shakes his head slowly, his eyes never leaving yours. Really? Why did you call me an echo? Strong are those who act, he says, closing his eyes as if quoting from memory. They change the world, break the sky with their thunder. His eyes open, dark and disdainful. And then there is the echo, the accumulation of the source's fury, claiming to be more important than it is. Cast-offs are echoes of him, and deserve none of his glory. I've heard of other cultists who worship the echoes. Fools, all of them. The source is what matters. There are many cast-offs, even if you think we are weaker than our father. Don't we have a large effect on the world? Yes, he says, raising his eyebrows, his lips twitch again. Certainly an echo has a power of its own. It can shake mountainsides, create avalanches that bury villages. He smirks at you. It doesn't make the echo clever. An echo simply goes where it is sent. They're all the same. They all want to impact the world, while their father simply does. You think all cast-offs are echoes of the changing god? What are you then? A man like him. Man of action. Of course. Of course you are. Of course.
Let's do it.
What a delusional knob. Okay, like, can we just go this way? No, we cannot.
Fine.
I'm ready.
So, the speaker. I'm gonna speak about something.
Yes. Now.
By the way, that was hardly surprising. Most people seem to think that they are in control. That they're not. This massive crystalline structure looks like a shrine of some sort. Colored lights float above inside, each one like a tiny galaxy trapped within the crystal. As you approach, the crystal begins to hum. Resonations shake your skull. The humming shifts and increases until you hear a voice. Revel. The bright voice echoes directly in your mind. It shudders, uncertain, like someone is trying to remember how to speak. Greetings, Parent One. I am the speaker. Welcome to the Ascension of Caxlianish. I'm sorry, but the Oracle no longer exists. The light pulses once, then a much deeper voice emanates from the crystal. Revelation. The Oracle is immortal. Time was the weapon that killed her. Something clicks or cracks within the crystal, and it speaks with the bright voice again. I regret that without the Oracle, I will have very few answers for you, but I will do what I can. The thoughts you receive from the structure are not like any thoughts you have experienced before. They come fast and incomprehensible. But more than that, they come from all around you, from underneath and even above you. It's as if you can hear the thoughts of an entire world through the speaker. Why did you call me the pattern one? Few of the lights pull together, creating a glowing circle in the air. No, not a circle, pentagon like your tattoo. Patterns are what we do, Pattern One. Life is a pattern, and your life more than most. Your thoughts hold a certain shape, a shape I've seen before. The light twist, twirl and chime wistfully. A man came through here long ago. He did some work here, I believe, or maybe came to hide something or find something. He never revealed to me his true purpose. The man who shares my pattern, I need to find something he hid. Do you know where it might be? I apologize, but I do not. Investigation was not my specialization, only speaking. The crystal vibrates once, the deep voice speaks. Revelation. The speaker can call all sentience, even those that did not exist at the time of its creation. You said revelation in a different voice. What does that mean? You are mistaken. Speakers are not authorized to grant revelations without the Oracle's permission, and the Oracle is no more. You hear another crack from deep within the crystal, as harsh as ice breaking underfoot. The deep voice speaks again. Revelation. The speaker cannot hear itself give revelations. It shudders and falls silent for a moment before saying in the bright voice. I wish that I did not have revelations for you, Parent One. Alas, that time is long past. Do you know anything about the other humans over there, Doran and his companions? I do not, nor do they know anything about me. I will not speak with them. Its answer is surprisingly curt. Okay. Why won't you talk to the other humans? The lights inside the crystal dim slightly. I do not trust them. They don't taste right. You hear a sound in your mind, remarkably like a clucking tongue. I cannot explain it. I know, they're crazy.
I'm ready to learn something new.
Except their leader. He just wants some money. Revelation. The deep voice speaks. Above a chorus of brittle snaps from within its body, the speaker tastes a strange pattern to one of the humans, two patterns of thought. where there should be one. What does it mean that you are the speaker? My full title was once Speaker of the Oracle of Kexlianish. It says the name with soft reverence. I heard questions for pilgrims, relayed them to the Oracle, and then conveying the Oracle's answer via revelation, I gave wisdom to this entire world. The crystal's light dims. Now I speak for no one, and I have few answers to give. The deeper voice speaks again. What the hell? Revelation. When the speaker dreams, it dreams of weeping. Sometimes the tears are made of light, others tiny black gems. Can you read my thoughts? No, but I can taste them, among other things. That's how I know to speak in your tongue. What was the oracle? You are standing on it, or rather, what remains of it. The Kexlianish built the oracle to answer the most difficult questions of existence. The voice grows wistful. Then the Lianish left. The oracle remained for 100,000 years or so. Before it broke down, I suppose. All that left of the oracle are the phobits. Several sharp clacks resound within the crystal. The deeper voice says, Revelation. The phobits were not always sentient. Cogitation. Would they have become so if the oracle had not chosen disintegration? What are phobits? Obviously, this looks like a huge reference to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The lights dance within the crystal in a manner you can only interpret as proud. We are phobits, sparking lights you see inside some of the crystals. If the oracle was a brain, then we were its neurons. Each one of us had our own job, our own specialization. You can't speak to the others, of course. That is to say, they are perfectly intelligent, but they are entirely unaware of you. The only reason you and I speak is because of my sole role as a speaker. The others weren't made for communication or perception. The speaker throbs, the deep voice cuts into the air. Revelation. Common phobits were used to store activation states and simple information. Some may still react to basic physical stimuli. If the other phobits are sentient, then could you speak to them for me? Or at least make them aware of my presence?
I'm ready to learn something new.
Of course, but they know nothing. I don't see what interpreting would. The speaker trails off, pausing thoughtfully. No, there is a way they can help. Several phobits in the area were in charge of transmission tracts, communication pathways connecting the oracle's smaller subsystems. When the oracle passed, those pathways became obsolete, and their phobits quiescent. But those tracks could serve as bridges to help you explore the area. The deep voice booms, Revelations! Revelation like humans. The Lianish also required physical structures for traversal. Only a few phobits specialize in areas requiring this knowledge. The speaker is not amongst them. The speaker's bright voice returns. Try to interact with the phobits. When you do, I'll ask them to activate or deactivate. They may not at all be as helpful as we'd like, but I think you'll figure some way to get around. What happened to the Lianish? I do not know. They left one day, abandoning the Ascension entirely. Perhaps they ascended to a higher form of life. In the case, they did not need the Oracle anymore. Farewell. So that's it. I
I'm
can't do
going.
anything with you. Oh, this everything is again.
I'll handle it.
All right.
So we need to find something. We can. Where we can actually go. Oh, we can actually go there. Oh, right. That looks interesting.
All right.
But I believe this is a good time to take a break. So hope you guys had fun. Tell me if you did. I'll see you around then. Have a good one.